Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and today is March 16th, 2018. So, if you've been listening to the news, you know that the astronaut Scott Kelly went into space for a year. He has an identical twin brother, and now, as he's come back onto the Earth, his DNA is different. It's like 7% different than his twin brother, which is crazy. Plus, he grew 2 inches. So what does that tell you about maybe we should all go into space and maybe it's healthier in some way? I mean, God only knows, but it fascinates me. And space fascinates me. And UFOs fascinate me. And I do believe that they exist. And Sunny believes it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sunny says yes, Mama. And today I'm honored and thrilled to have my friend Craig Campobasso. Sorry, I kept practicing that. Campobasso. I love that name. You're an expert in UFOs, right?
Well, I wouldn't say an expert, but pretty well versed.
What's this?
Yeah, that's Stranger at the Pentagon. It's
and what is that?
Well, it's one of the longest. The book first came out in 1967, written by Dr. Frank Stranges, and I met Dr. Frank in 2001, and ended up making this short film.
And what is the film?
Well, the film is about a created being named Valiant Thor who came here on March 16th, 1957.
It's March 16th.
Oh, my God. It's March 16th. See, there are no accidents, right?
No coincidences, guys. I got goosebumps.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
This is like more than, this is divine intervention.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Amazing.
Okay, so 1957.
So 1957, and he became the guest of our government for 3 years. But he came here with a purpose, and there were messengers who came before him to alert.
Wait. He came from.
Well,
Mars.
No,
Jupiter.
We don't know exactly where he's from.
Right.
But one of the stop-offs is where he is supposedly from the interior of Venus.
Wow.
Now, so
is he a lover, not a fighter?
He's a total lover, not a fighter. But
Venus.
But the thing is that these beings are extremely advanced, and so
does he have a flesh and blood?
He does,
body?
because created beings can create their body.
No,
at
I believe
will.
that. I believe that. You don't have to convince me. Okay,
right.
So we might have to convince you guys, but
right.
I believe this. So okay, so then did a UFO person come into him, or he was created as a UFO?
No, he himself
created
himself to look this way before he came here.
And he's handsome,
but you have to remember when you're in your soul perfection body, your inside mirrors your outside.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's profound.
Yeah, it is profound. But also remember too, when people pass over, they go back to looking like their young self, but 10 to 20 times better looking than they did before.
It's going to be a heck of a lot better than in the coffin.
Right, yeah. Well, that's for sure. So we all have something to look forward to, right?
Yeah. I think I want to be cremated, but that's another story. Okay, so
Right.
now, wait. You won an award for this.
2 awards for Best Science Fiction
Okay,
Short.
you guys have to get this. How do they get this?
Just go to strangeratthepentagon.com. They can read about the story. They can get all of Dr. Frank's out-of-print books, Stranger at the Pentagon, Outwitting Tomorrow, which was also
Wait,
advised.
it's also a book.
It's also the book. There they can get the book. We have posters and blueprints, actually, of the Victor-class saucers. Yeah. And the Starship. And they can watch the film there, or they can get it on DVD there as well. And so let me put them in order there.
Okay.
There you go. So
who is? Wait a second. Okay, so Thor, where is he now? Where is he today? And will he be a guest on my show?
Well, I've never met him, but I have met people who met him. Dr. Frank passed away in 2008.
Oh yeah, this in your. I didn't do his whole introduction. Sorry,
Right.
Craig.
That's okay.
But okay. So Frank Herbert's Dune. What is that?
You
worked on that.
I worked on that. That was one of the very first. Right out of high school, I got a job working on the film, and I actually worked on it for 4 years. So I got to learn all about that realm in filmmaking from.
And you apprenticed as a casting associate on Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories.
That's right. Yeah, that was one of my first casting jobs. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
Yes, of course. Yeah, many other people. We had lots of stars on Amazing Stories.
Wow.
Even the Star Wars stars. And we had Mark Hamill, we had Carrie Fisher.
Okay, and then, what movie? Starring Sam Elliott?
That was a film that I cast, which is a beloved Christmas movie called Prancer.
Oh.
It starred Sam Elliott and Ariana Richards, who later went on to star in Jurassic Park.
And you did casting with David E. Kelly?
Yeah, Picket Fences.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Had a nice Emmy nomination for that. So,
You know, I met this guy. He's so unassuming. I met him. I did it, and I went to watch an event that Coast to Coast was doing, and then I did an event that was done with Tom from Coast to Coast, the producer, and Craig was just there, and I was like, oh my God. You're going to be my new best friend.
That's right.
Okay, I need to know more about Thor, though. I'm really obsessed about this.
Sure.
So, okay, wait, but you won a sci-fi film festival, international film festival.
Yeah, that's for Stranger at the Pentagon. That was the Burbank Film Festival and the Houston World Fest as well.
Did you talk to Steven Spielberg about E.T.?
I didn't, but there were other people on our crew that did, and they shared those stories with me.
And did he believe that there were extraterrestrials,
I
don't know?
That was never brought up, but I did have extensive conversations with his mother, Lee Adler, who I love and adore.
Is she still here?
She is still here,
Wait,
I believe.
isn't there a restaurant?
Yes, the Milky Way.
Should we go?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I used to go
Tony,
all the
you
time.
want to come? Tony's coming.
I used to go with a friend of mine all the time. I actually brought my mother there once, and it was very slow night. And Lee and my mother, Lee came and sat with us at the table, and she sat there with us all night long.
Amazing.
And then it was another hour with my mom and her talking
that's amazing.
in the lobby. Yeah, but she told me that Stephen grew up. They grew up in Arizona.
Okay.
And she took him to Sedona an awful lot when he was a boy. Now we know the vortexes and the vortices and everything that goes on there. So that opened him up as a little boy to all of this. But of course, I mean, this is just my impression. Of course he believes. I mean, everybody knows that there's life out there.
Where does Thor live?
So Thor right now, everything I share with you about him is
really
through
handsome.
Dr. Frank, right?
Okay, right.
There are actual pictures taken of him by a retired Air Force photographer named August Roberts.
Okay.
And these photos are also on the website, strangeratthepentagon.com. And there we go. And they're actually in the book as well. There's several photos of him and that were taken. back in '58, and he looks the same to this day. So
Okay. And he doesn't have a painting in the attic.
He doesn't have a painting in the attic. But again, what you have to realize is that these are very advanced beings. So they on their craft and in their environments, even when they terrace the inside of planets,
right?
There's a resonation field that keeps all of their cells really young, so they never age. Nobody ever ages, right? They also, even if you were on a floor in an outdoor setting, right, you could look up and they have what they have is called a synchrotron sky.
Right.
And this sky syncs from day to night as well, but it looks infinite and you don't know that you're outside, because if you're living on the outside of a planet like we do, what are we getting? We're getting all of the universal interference, we're getting the ultraviolet rays, we're getting all the things that age us down, right? So
and that's why but if we didn't, all the plastic surgeons would be out of business.
They would.
And all the filler people and the people that do Botox, what would they do? They'd be homeless.
I don't know. But Dr. Frank would say when you went on board the Victor class saucers, or his was called Victor 1. There's Victor 1, Victor 2. His is stationed at Lake Mead, so says Dr. Frank. Lake Mead. And that
I've been there. Have you?
Yeah, I have many times. Yeah.
What about Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta. I was just there.
You were?
I was just there.
I had an experience there.
Yeah.
A crazy experience.
Yes.
Where our car flew up in the air.
Really?
Oh, I had that real experience.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, it truly happened, and it was impossible for the car.
Yes.
And when I went to open the door, if I had walked out, I would have fallen off a cliff. And my theory is that the guy I was with, who was a boyfriend at the time, who had too big an ego,
right?
They didn't want him there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I psychically saw 7 and 8 feet tall people.
Right. Yes, that's absolutely right.
I saw them, and I don't know if somebody said once they were called the Lost Lemurians.
Lemurians,
and
right.
that they live in the land under the land.
They do, yes. There's.
See, if I went with you, did you see anybody?
I didn't, but I have friends that have gone with actual contactee who actually is in contact with a being from somewhere else, and
Really?
that they went out in a group, and I knew several people that went. And they actually went and they saw this being out in the forest, supposedly where he came down. And he's about 8 to 9 feet tall, which is very interesting that you said that.
I saw them like I see spirits.
Yes, yeah.
They visualize in front of me. They let me see them.
Yes, and these beings are very compassionate and are here to, just let the world know that they exist.
Well, also they're here because I think they can only do so much to try to help us save our planet, but we're destroying our planet.
Right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, our children and our children's children are not going to be able. Have you seen lately, just for example, in the ocean? I saw on TV there were fish swimming. There was only there was supposed to be one. I forgot what kind of fish it was. The one that unfortunately killed Steve.
A stingray.
Irwin, a stingray.
Right.
There was only one stingray in a place where they're supposed to live, and it was cluttered with debris and plastic and horrifying in our ocean.
Wow.
It's not good.
Wow.
It's not good. And now, did you see on the news as well? That's all I do is sit home and watch the news when I'm not talking to dead people. But they're saying that there's plastic that's getting into our water because everybody's drinking bottled water.
Right. Yes.
So anyway, sorry, I'm a little ADD and I went off the subject. So
that's okay.
Okay, so what is I am Thyron? Is that
Tehran.
I am Tehran.
Tehran. So
is that the same as Thor?
Well, he kind of looks like him.
Let's see. What is that?
That's the first book. It's a trilogy, and I'm just finishing up book 4 now.
Oh, Sylvia Brown did the foreword.
Yeah, Sylvia Brown did the foreword. I
my.
actually was lucky enough to meet her, and we became friends.
Aw.
And I asked her if she would write the foreword. She said, well, let me read it first. And she read it, and she's called me immediately. And she said, oh, my God, I love it. It is so packed with so much universal truth. And she said, I have only written one other foreword, and that was at the beginning of my career, and now I will only write the second foreword. So she only wrote 2 forewords
That's
in
amazing.
her long career of 65 or 68 books. But
So,
anyway, it's
who's
interesting.
What is it?
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Think of Tyrone. Tyrone.
Is it like Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Is he from Detroit?
He's
Tyrone?
from Detroit.
I'm from Detroit.
He's from a planet called Detroit.
I knew Tyrones.
I always get Tyrone, Theron, Thyron,
So
but it's
is
Tyrone.
Is he the same
So
as
here,
Thor?
no, he's not.
Oh.
He's not.
What
So
is he?
here, he is he's a Pleiadian who teaches at, that's book 2, the Waking Tyrone.
Is this a trilogy?
It is a trilogy, and this is book 3. And that's book 3 right there, which is called Tyrone's Dossier. So,
Wow.
Anyway, the long story short, just to give you a little idea about
Yes.
Tyrone and what he does is he is at the college level at the University of Melchizedek, which is the universe's spiritual university.
Oh.
And he teaches messengers and mighty messengers about their incarnation missions to go into younger worlds, such as Earth, incarnate to raise consciousness.
We're a younger world.
We're a younger world. And that's the focus of the books, is that it's in focused with Earth. So you learn about how that whole process is done, how all these beings from all over this universe being plucked, like highly advanced beings from other universes are being brought in.
So wait a second. Are they like walk-ins to
No.
people here?
No,
Or they
well,
literally-
some could be walk-ins, but most are born-ins, as I
Okay.
call it.
Born-ins.
Born-ins, because they come in and they incarnate. So now, because there's so many starseed families, so when they incarnate into a starseed family, they're already now, they have full, complete support about who they are. Like, I know kids right now that already speak 5-star languages and write star script and write star maps and know how to do crystal grids.
Do you have that in here?
No, it's not in here, but these are just the things about how advanced all of these children are coming in now.
Unbelievable.
So,
They're
and
also
of course
very psychic and intuitive.
yes.
Took me 45 years
Right.
to be almost as good as them.
Yeah, because they're really coming in. So the book outlines that, but it also sets up the whole galactarian alignment of space peoples and planets, right? So it's bringing the unknown universe into being known. What's the hierarchy? How does all of this sort of interweave?
What is their purpose?
Well, the main purpose is to raise consciousness on Earth, because this planet is being focused on to be raised up back into universal society.
Really?
And we get into book 2 and book 3 about why this planet was erased from that way back when, and now how it's being reintroduced into it. So here's just a few little tidbits.
Okay.
Is we know the Pentagon and things are starting to release flying saucer craft.
Right. Finally.
Right? And they're starting
They're
to do
admitting
that,
it.
and they're going to continue to do that.
Right.
They're doing it on a timeline to gauge different people's thought, like what they think
Okay.
You know, like what they think and what's the public's reaction to
Right.
it. And it's been pretty good
Because they're trying
so
not
far.
to scare people. Is that it?
Yeah, they don't want to scare people.
Like,
so,
yeah.
not that I have any connections to it. Believe me, I don't. But
No,
this is
I believe you don't.
right. Yeah, but it's my own intuitiveness. So when I started writing these books, they're basically I was met with guides when I was 26 that came and woke me up, and I went through a 2-year major waking up process, which was unbelievable. And I actually had a second major spiritual awakening in 2014. I didn't even know you could have two. So these things,
so what was it?
They're spiritual upgrades. Well, the first one was bringing me into the expanse of what the universe is, who we all are, finding the beauty behind the divinity and everything that was created. So really for 8 months, when this opened up in my cells, I literally sobbed anywhere from 8 to 12 times a day.
Aww.
Like major sob, not unhappy sobs.
Right.
But it was like I just couldn't believe it. You know, when you make that connection. So I wrote a whole book about all of these experiences, and then the main guide said to me, what would you say if we told you you just wrote that book for yourself? I said, wow, then I learned a lot. And he said, now it's time to sit down and write the real book, and you are not to edit. You are to keep writing until nothing else comes out of you.
Are these spirit guides, or are these UFO people
these
guides?
are master teachers.
Master teachers from just the universe.
Some are from other universes, from other super universes, and
are
primarily
they
from here.
Other dimensions,
Yes.
or spirit world too, or mostly universes?
No, universes. Universes.
Do you watch Doctor Who?
I don't. No.
It might bore you.
No. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
After all that you know.
Right. But anyway, so that so in writing it was interesting because I found myself reading a book instead of writing it. That's a whole nother fascinating thing. And I'm finishing up book 4 right now to continue the series. And all these books are left with cliffhangers and all kinds of things. And of course, there's a great cliffhanger in book 4 that now I've been like, well, I don't have time to write book 5 now. I want to know what happens. So, but the other cool thing is, I met an artist who is very connected to all of this. Oh. And I had all of the books fully illustrated. So each book has anywhere from 70 to 80, 85 drawings of the paradise sons, the gods, the created beings.
Do you work with crystals?
A lot, yes.
A lot.
Yeah, I have a ton of crystals.
So the thing I don't understand about crystals personally,
right?
I believe in them, but I know, like, I'm always so concerned about staying protected and not letting, like, negative stuff get in the crystals to keep it positive. How do you clean your crystals?
Really simple. Really simple.
What?
It's like when you're in tune with all of the crystals, you can hear them talking. Like I have a lot, and sometimes I'll just go, oh, that one needs to be put somewhere else. It wants more sunlight, or it wants this.
But you do it naturally.
Well, I do it
You're
naturally.
intuitive.
Yeah, I'm very intuitive that way.
Not everybody knows that.
But also, I just hold it and say, clear.
Okay, but aren't you supposed to, like, put it in a shell and...
Those are all things that you can do, but I think it really just boils down to what you really feel is best. And for me, I may wash them, and as I'm holding them, I just say clear.
And it works. And speaking about protection.
Yes.
Is this for Margolis?
This is for you. This is the Universal Seal of Protection.
I'm so excited. We're protected.
I had a wonderful Archangel Michael came to me in a dream vision and a lucid dream, and he wanted me to create that, and he showed it to me. So the blue M is for Michael. The M below that is for the Archangel Metatron, and then the M below that, the silver M, or gold M, is for Father Melchizedek, who is the architect of the universe's spiritual university. Now, they work in conjunction with all of the universal hierarchy.
So this protects us energetically?
It protects you energetically. And the one wonderful thing about this as well is wherever you place it, the energy signature will be there forever. Right?
Right.
So all of my friends that take a picture of it and they use it as their cell phone, the cover.
On their cell phone cover.
Yeah. They put it on their cell phone cover. So, and by the way, the website for the books is autobiographyofANET.com.
Oh, okay. Wait. We got to slow down a minute. We got to get this out because this is visual, but this is also going to be on just audio.
Right.
So if you guys want to get any of these things, including this protection of
Michael, Metatron, and Melchizedek.
Yeah, those people. You go to...
You're getting spiritually high right now, aren't you?
Yeah,
I could see.
It's fun. Okay, so where do they go?
Autobiography of ANET.com. And anybody throughout the weekend, if they buy a book or all 3 books, there's a super fan package, will get a free universal seal of protection.
There's something really
card.
special about this, you guys.
Yeah, it's amazing. Or if they want to buy them singularly as well, if they want to buy more, they can also do that. So,
and you can buy them for people you love, so they can be protected.
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how much are these?
For $1.
$1?
$1, yeah, $1. But
how can you go wrong?
Yeah, you can't go wrong. So, and I also have little kitchen magnets made of it as well.
Angel. Michael, is that how you say his name?
Archangel Michael. You're so spiritually high. I'm loving
I
this.
am.
Do you see? Isn't this
crazy.
Amazing? It happens, though. This is what happens.
Is this what happens to people?
This is what happens. It's a spiritual burn.
Oh, my God.
It's a spiritual burn.
It's really happening. Okay.
I just felt the whole energy in this room just like a...
Well, you know what's crazy?
What?
I walked in here in the beginning and I said, Tony, do you have any sage? He said, no. I said, you need to sage that room. It needs saging. And for some reason today, I put on protection oil, which I don't always do.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did Michael say to you?
So when we were originally designing, the books also are about the universal duality because the books teach us about duality because that's the one thing on Earth.
Mean?
Well, we are dualistic beings. So meaning that most beings on Earth work from their mind and not their hearts. So when you combine the heart with the mind, then you start to become fully conscious. And then that's when your 5 chakras above your body start moving in. And that's when the higher consciousness and everything starts to connect. You connect with the cosmic mind, you connect with the cosmic heart, and you start beating along with it, and you start working for the good of all humanity and universal kind at the same time.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I just sent a social media thing out yesterday about Stephen Hawking saying that he is proof to all of us that the mind is the strongest thing we have.
That's right.
I just sent that out.
That's right. It's consciousness. That's what we are. We're all consciousness.
And also that he was a great soldier for ALS because people do not live with ALS.
That's right. That's right. He certainly was.
He was like a miracle.
Yeah, he was. I mean, what a great example that he came in to do that, to bring to all of us his genius.
Yeah.
In such a way that we would all take notice.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So Okay, you're right. There's something weird going on with all this energy.
It is, but it happens, and like my house
Yeah.
is a vortex. Literally, people come over to my house, and they hang out in my vortex, and all
But
the energy escalates.
You know
and
what's
everybody...
so weird? What I was going to tell you?
What?
My house in Michigan is a vortex.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I swear it is.
Wow, that's
It's
so nice.
crazy.
Wow. I love that.
And I had a boyfriend once who said that he saw a UFO land in my corral. 'Cause I
Really?
have some land. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he was a comedian, but he was like really, he wasn't an alcoholic or anything.
Right.
I went grocery shopping, and I came back and he said it. I said, you did not. He said, I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know or really accept that at that time as much as I do now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One of my main artists is Christine Dennett, but one of my other artists, a wonderful guy named Kim Black, who's a good friend of mine. He's the one that did the beings from The Great I Am, and amazing,
I Am.
The Great I Am. Yeah, these three beings, and he lived in San Mateo, and he was sitting outside with his grandfather, and he was contemplating the drawings and all of that, and all of a sudden in front of him, a little tiny spaceship like this big opened up in a dimension. Little being got out, looked around, got back in and left, and they had the circular thing with the grass
yeah,
for
the grass.
for
The circular
years
thing.
afterwards.
You know what I have found I haven't traveled extensively, but I have been around England, and I find where the rollright stones are, and what are those, the big, the place that everybody goes to that they put a...
Stonehenge?
Stonehenge, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Stonehenge...
I'll be your mind.
Thank you.
Because I know where it is.
Thank you.
You're
Stonehenge
floating in the
and-
star
yeah,
glitter right now.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. It
Stonehenge.
follows me around.
It does, right? So, and the rollright stones and some other places, what I find is that there are UFO sightings in those areas.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I find that around each one of them are these man-made hills or hills,
Right. Yeah.
where the saucer can go into the mountain.
Yeah.
Just like at Shasta, they go
Right.
into
They go
the mountain.
in the mountain. Yeah.
That's why people don't
Yes.
understand that.
Well, they can change their molecular structure as well, and they just change it, and it just shifts to light. They can go in and then shift it back. It's the same thing when they terrace the inside of planets as well. It's like, imagine if you took a sheet of paper that's an energy, and you put it in as large of an area as you need, and then it just compresses out into the size that they need. They go in and they can make a base. They can do that. It could be there for a week. It could be there for a year. It could be there for many years. And then when they're done, they just compress it back.
See, this energy that you're working with
Yeah.
is pretty miraculous. And
Yeah.
I hope that it's okay that I'm going to say this because it's not in any of your questions, but you had cancer at one time, right?
Yes, I did. Uh-huh.
And is it okay that I said it? I said it.
Well, you did, so.
Is it okay? Can we talk
Yeah.
about it?
Sure.
How you healed yourself?
Sure.
Okay, so you were stage what?
4, melanoma.
Stage 4 melanoma. And tell us what happened, how you healed yourself.
Well, it was localized, and I had 2 years of constant operations on my leg because it just kept coming back.
my.
I think in total I had 7, 8, or 9 operations by the end. I was going into the 3rd year, it metastasized and went through my entire body, and I was at that time 4th stage. And
How old were you?
Well, this is 7 years ago, so so I was late. I'm 29 now.
Yeah,
let
right.
me
So
go
you were
back
22.
I was 22, yes. But I've been cancer free for like 7 years and 4 months.
I got to touch wood and thank God.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the thing: is as you can see, I'm a positive person.
Right.
All my doctors were
And
extremely
your attitude's
positive.
incredible. And
Attitude
you're so fun.
is the number one thing that
It is,
they
right?
told me. They said if you're only the happy people make it through, the other
Right.
ones die right away. I had gone to an herbalist many years before, and I called him up and I said, look, I've got melanoma. Can I come and see you, get some herbs? And he said, I'm going to send you to my teacher. He specializes in cancer.
Wow.
I went to him. He said, I want to know what kind of chemo drugs they're putting in you, because I was in the hospital for the last year for 13 months,
Oh,
6
no.
days every month. And for all 6 days, they put IL-1, IL-2, and then interferon shots into me every day.
Oh, my.
So it was pretty.
Wait, what
it
is
was
the
pretty
IL-1,
intense.
IL-2? What does that mean?
Well, it's IL-1 was the first set of drugs that they put through me, and then in the afternoon I would get IL-2, and then after that I would get an interferon shot, which nobody should ever have to have those, because you literally just go into convulsing and shivering.
I'm so sorry.
You know, no, it's done. It's over. So,
Yeah.
but so the long story short is, he wanted all of the names of the drugs, and so he gave me herbs. He said this is going to weaken the cancer cells so that the medication they're giving you, the chemo, is going to knock it out of your body.
Right.
And so that was part of it. The other part was I stayed happy. I did fun activities at home, and I did a lot of meditation. There were even one of my doctors who was spiritual, which I loved.
Wow,
Had like
so
a guy who had
important.
had one of the top meditation books. This guy wrote a special meditation for me.
So important.
And Sylvia Brown had me on her prayer line, so there was 1 million people from her praying.
And that all matters.
And it all matters. And you know what? I called also when I had enough energy. I just called all kinds of churches and things, whether, I mean, I believe, like my religion is unconditional love. I'm not of any religious faith, but I know that prayer is a very big thing. So I would just call, and I put myself on all the prayer lines and everything. And then I had 2 major dreams early on, and this was towards the end of cancer. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the book 1 and book 2 were written, but they weren't released. None of this stuff was released at this time. Laura Ziskin, who produced all the Spider-Man movies, I worked with her really early on, and I was going to go into producing with her.
Right. She's very famous.
She was very famous and gorgeous, gorgeous soul. At the same time I had cancer, she had cancer, but she didn't make it.
Oh.
So she
not
passed
here?
away. Yeah, she passed away years
no.
ago. So I'm with her in a dream, and she's got a bandana on her head, and she's making us something to drink, and she walks over and sits down, and she said, I said, Laura, I had what you had. And she goes, yeah, but the difference is that God has plans for you.
That gives me goosebumps.
Gave me goosebumps, too. And then the other dream was, and I just found it because I always write them down, and I just found it. I was in biblical times on a game show, and like all of like, where you would have like if it was the letters from what's the show with Pat Sajak?
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune, right?
Like that. So they asked this woman a question. She was a contestant. I wasn't a contestant, and and I don't remember what the question was, but she didn't know it, and I went, I know it, and it's my secret.
Oh.
And then it sprawled across in fire letters, Jehovah. And I went, that's
goosebumps.
That's how that was also. It was also part of divine intervention in also.
Now, did you have these dreams while you had cancer? Or at the very end?
At the very end, yeah.
See,
at the very end.
Also feel that the extraterrestrials have healing abilities.
They do, yes.
And I feel like they helped you with this.
Yes, and they helped me one other time as well.
When?
This was after, no, I think it was before, maybe around 2005 or 6. I had a bowel obstruction.
Oh.
I was bedridden for 3 days. I was rushed to the hospital. There's a vice commander on Victor 1, a woman named Teal.
Right.
And she is like the brainiacs of brainiacs.
Right.
She is like one of the most brilliant women in the face of the universe. I mean, that's
Who
what
is
Dr.
she?
Frank, her name's Teal, T-E-E-L. Tune into her, right?
T-E-E-L.
Yeah, she has, she's like, she would have she's very Rubenesque. She has red hair, green eyes, porcelain white skin.
Oh, my.
Right? And anyway, she had come to me in a vision before I met Dr. Frank. So I knew who she was. I just didn't know her name. When I met him, she started coming back. And then I made the connection that that's where she was from. Oh. So they rushed me, put me in an ambulance, sent me to the hospital, took x-rays, said they were going to have to operate on me the next morning. Now, mind you, only my friend who took me to the hospital knew I was there. And so while I was there, so that night I went to sleep, and I woke up in a twilight where I was awake, but my eyes were closed, and I felt her standing over me, and in my intestines were bubbles flowing through my entire intestines. And I went, oh, I'm going to be fine when I wake up, right?
Unbelievable.
So I woke up, and sitting in the chair next to the bed was Dr. Frank. And he said, oh, Teal called me early this morning, told me to get down here and tell you that she fixed you up last night.
Unbelievable.
So, of course, I made them do another x-ray to prove that I was fine, which I was. And they said, well, whatever it is has passed. And I left the hospital at 2 o'clock that afternoon.
See, that's a miracle. And I believe in miracles.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
Of course you do.
I do too.
You've experienced them.
Yeah, I have. You know, and I think the thing is for everybody out here, even hearing these stories, if they're going through cancer or if they're going through something, is take all these things that I've just said to heart and know that if your heart is good, that there really is assistance there.
There is.
There's so much assistance there that is there to champion you, to help you, to guide you, to heal you. But you've got to really want to heal yourself.
Yeah.
That's the main
okay, that's
thing.
Profound what he just said, you guys. Say that again.
So
to really get healed,
you have to really want to heal yourself.
You have to want to be healed and healthy.
That's right. That's right. So if there's any other little things there, so that's what I say is going to a psychic like yourself, somebody who is able to pick these little things out that you're holding anger and resentment in your liver or in your this.
People carry it in their body.
In their bodies and things like that. So it's
people who have broken hearts get heart attacks.
They do, yeah. Right. So all of these things are really there, and again, remember, it's mental strength.
Mental strength.
Yeah.
So that's why meditation is a great thing. Every morning I do yoga and I meditate.
Yeah. I don't do yoga, but I meditate. I go work out and I meditate, and no excuse not to meditate, because all you really need is 5 minutes. If you have a busy day, just take 5 minutes, sit down, do a little quiet thing. I tell people always say to me, well, I don't know how to meditate. And I say, go online, go to Jonathan Goldman's website. He has the 7-minute chakra alignment.
Right.
It's tuned to each of your 7 chakras. All you have to do is sit down, close your eyes, and just go with the music. You don't have to do anything else, because the music is going to do it for you until you learn how to do it more.
It's so true. It's so true. I used to menstruate. Now I meditate.
Almost spat that out.
Do you know, I had music composed to balance your chakras. It's called Chakra Therapy with Char Margolis, and you can get it on iTunes.
Oh, my God. I'm going to get that.
Do you know what a skio machine is?
I've heard of it.
It's an electromagnetic energy machine.
Yeah.
That like they strap something around your ankles and your wrists, and they put you on certain like frequencies. It's electromagnetic energy.
Yeah.
And it scans you and tells you what's not right with you, and then it turns it and heals you.
Yes.
And I used to I could have had 10 hours sleep that night, but the guy that I went to would put me on this and put me on the de-stress cycle. I'd fall asleep every time. So I had him balance it with the same energy of the de-stress cycle. So when people listen to my chakra therapy tape, they either feel like $1 million when they're done, or they fall asleep.
Right.
If you can't sleep, get chakra therapy by Char Margolis. It truthfully, but you're just so fascinating. I mean,
thank you. So are you.
Well, that's kind, but seriously, I just feel like you're here as a teacher to teach all of us and to help us, and you don't care what other people think.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that,
like
you just have to live your truth. You just have to
live your truth, even if to some people it sounds crazy, but who cares?
It does. And I'll be honest with you, way back when I had my first awakening and I was talking about these incredible master teachers to all my friends, they would sit there with like deer in the headlight eyes.
Right.
They all loved me no matter what. And they were just trying to figure out what was happening. But it's interesting, like 10 years from there, all of those friends are like, oh, my God, I used to think you were just a little nuts.
Right.
But guess what? I'm just like you now.
Right. And and even the government's admitting that we've had UFOs.
Yes.
And that they've had bodies at Roswell. And I mean, but there's something beyond the UFO. You're like beyond that. You're in what you teach. It's more of the energy of the healing of our planet.
Right.
And what do you think's going to happen to our planet now? Do you have any ideas?
This is what I know innately inside my heart.
I would like to know that.
Is that this planet is definitely going into the light. I don't know what the timeline is, but it is going to be the beautiful, pristine, gorgeous Earth self that she is meant to be.
Oh, I hope so.
And the beings at that time, all of our ancestors, I don't know how far in the future this will be, will all be in an unconditionally loving thing, and there will then be interaction once again with other worlds and teaching exchange programs. And
I wrote in my first book that we're going from a material world to a spiritual world.
We are, yes.
And I believe that, but I still feel like there's some big lessons to learn and some hard lessons coming up for our world.
Yes.
I also think there's going to be problems with the economy and also real estate, FYI. Yeah, down the road. Maybe a year.
Tell me when to buy.
A year or two. Wait.
Yeah.
Where do you want to buy?
Probably in the valley or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what's the most recent thing that you've had? Like visitation or experience?
I haven't had anything recently because I'm just connected now.
And you're on your path.
I don't need any of that
right, you're
anymore.
On your path.
But here's the exciting thing. When I write with all of these incredible beings,
you're guided. It comes through you.
It comes through me. They actually sit their feeling body inside me, so I feel exactly who and what they are. And here's the thing. When we go to being fully conscious, we become telepathic. And what a lot of people don't realize is when you're telepathic, so as you and I are talking, every story I shared, you would feel it energetically the way my heart and soul felt it.
Aww.
Right? So that's the exciting part of it. So I get to experience that. So when a creator God or these beings come in, and I write about them, I literally sit there for 15 minutes and sob because they're so beautiful.
You truly are a purely good, kind soul.
No, thank you.
You're not manipulative. You don't have a bad bone in your body. You're just love.
Yeah, no, that's it. Unconditional love.
My dad always said God is love and love is God.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we're
And I believe that when we cross over, we judge ourselves in what is God's or love's eyes.
We do. And here's the interesting
no ego.
thing.
No ego.
No ego.
Ego means edging God out.
But here's the thing. I think that people would start treating other people better here if they knew that when they go to the other side
right.
and they start their life review,
right.
that you're not only going to judge yourself, but you are going to feel in a feeling body what the other people felt that you hurt throughout your entire lifetime. And so that is the most painful thing to experience, because now you're feeling it in its true form of exactly what you did. And that goes for the good things as well.
Right, so you feel the joy as well if you do a good deed.
Yes, and what you don't want is to be living your life on the other side, having to say you're sorry to everyone.
Okay, now how can people get a hold of you again, Craig?
So the books are Autobiography of an ET.com. Book 1, by the way, right now is on audiobook. I'm starting to do all the audiobooks. So book 1's on audiobook on Amazon. If people order the books from me, I'll sign them off the website, Autobiography of an ET.com, and they'll get a Universal Sale Production card if they order by the end of the weekend.
And real quick, what movie are you going to be doing? You're going to be doing a movie.
I just finished a big movie called Starbright, which, interestingly enough, the lead is the Archangel Raphael.
Oh, how great.
And it's a fantasy film. I just finished 2 films with James Franco.
Wow.
Seriously? Yeah. And then Rashida Jones is in one of them. And
wow.
Yeah, and then what's the other one? And we just did it's a new version of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh, how wonderful.
I know, isn't that cool?
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, it's so cool. So the monster is actually a hot guy.
Oh, I can't wait to see it, right? Why not?
It's a hot guy in this version, but he gradually becomes ugly. So, so that's really, really fascinating.
Will you come back and visit us again?
I would love to come back and visit you.
You are so much fun.
I would love that.
Thank you.
I would love that. I love you so much.
I love you.
I love you too, Sonny.
Yeah. You are so special. Thank you. And
you too.
Everybody watching, you guys are so special and so supportive of me. It allows me to help others help themselves. So thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.